Good morning. We want to talk to you this morning about authenticity again, because this is the determining factor or the thing that the universe uses to deliver to you, you see. If you're on a spiritual path and you have a desire in your authenticity to know yourself, to value yourself, to feel you are enough, to feel you are worthy, the universe hears you and it will align to you. And it will provide you with circumstances, situations, and opportunities that will support that authentic part of yourself, you see. But let's say you have another reason. Let's say there is something else lurking around in self that needs notoriety, that needs to be recognized, that needs to be made to feel worthy, that has something to prove, that isn't enough right now as it is. All of these things, when one is calling in their authenticity to the universe, won't be answered. There are many humans that we have discussions with that move into opposition energy once in a while and are not totally agreeing with what it is that we are transmitting to them. But we're going to tell you again that when we move with a human, we move with the high part of themselves and we connect that link of them to them so that they can feel or notice where there might be a disconnect or something that is not lining up in truth within them, you see. Once in a while, they'll want to pin it on us. Once in a while, they'll get a little aggravated with us. But most of the time, when they have time to sit with themselves and look inside, they're able to put the pieces of the puzzle together and recognize where the disconnect is in them, you see. You have to think about really why you want what you want and why you can't formulate the plan or the idea of what you want when it's not in the authentic state yet, or you are wanting it for the wrong reasons, or the reasons that do not align to the high part of you, you see. Most of the people that we do sessions with and that we are involved with are on a spiritual quest or path, and they have a lot of knowledge and wisdom when it comes to spirituality. They know what they're doing. But once in a while, they get caught or snagged. And they talk to us, and we try to put that missing link or that piece into their puzzle that will complete the picture for them, you see. Some of them aren't ready to complete the picture. Some of them want to continue to look around for pieces and try to stuff pieces in that don't fit. They want to force a manifestation. They want to say it feels good to them to think the way that they are thinking, even though they are not materializing what it is they are wanting, you see. And we're here to tell you today, right now, right here, if you were aligned to the high self in your authenticity, you would have no problem at all knowing what you want. You'd have no problem at all getting what you want, and you'd be very satisfied as you were doing it, you see. So what are we really saying here today? The universe loves you. The universe wants to serve you. The universe wants to give you exactly what it is that you are calling out to it for. But once in a while, as a human, you start calling as a human in your need, in your not worthiness, in your I have something to prove, in your everybody would respect me attitude. We could go on the list of reasons that a human calls for what it is they are calling for in their life and the frustration they experience as they do not receive it, you see. I want to remind you to call in your authenticity, to call in your love state, to call in your recognition of what it is that you have emitted to all that is. It knows you. It feels you. When you come at the universe in your human form, in your need, in your belief, in your grandeur, in your needing to be acknowledged, in your needing to be somebody, in your need to do something that is worthwhile, recognizable, something that has to be revealed to the world, it doesn't recognize you. It can't see you. It can't feel you. Because the real signal that the universe is receiving from you is in that authentic state, in that expressive state of simply wanting to create for the joy of creating, in simply wanting to align to whatever it is that you will align to, that will bring you the highest and greatest feeling of satisfaction, completion. Now we're going to tell you the completion won't last, because as you know, you are an ever-growing, ever-expanding, everlasting being. And the life that you are living will continue on and on. And as you leave this plane, you will reemerge back into all that is. And you will live again and again and again. Nothing is lost. Nothing is going away. No experience was not important. It's yours. We want to get rid of this idea of urgency, because urgency is resistive. It causes a human to feel as though they are frustrated, wondering where things are, when they're going to come, how they're going to come. But we want you to really grasp and understand that you are eternal and that you are never going to stop growing and expanding. And your prayers, as you call them, or your desires, are never not going to be answered, you see. But they're not going to get answered by the human who thinks he has something to prove, who has to be more than what he is, who has to be recognized. This is not your authentic state, you see. In your authentic state, you already recognize yourself. You know who you are. You know what you are. You know why you're here. We've told you from the beginning in past recordings that you have a plan. And when we hear humans saying to us, they can't see the route or the plan, we want to tell you that you're in a disconnected state a little bit. Because we promise you there was a plan. And in your fear of not finding it, in your fear of it not coming soon enough, in your fear of I don't do something as a human to make it happen, that plan isn't coming. But it is already there. And this is the funny part about it, because we keep trying to explain to you that all you need to do is connect to the high part of you where the plan is, where the growth is, where the expansion is, where the desire has been met. Doesn't it seem kind of funny as a human? You're down here running around like chickens with your head cut off, thinking if I don't get moving, if I don't have a desire, if I don't make something happen, I'm not going to get anything. And we're here to tell you that in every moment that you're drawing a breath, you're getting something. You're expanding. Your desire is growing, and so are you, you see. Somehow you got to close that gap. Somehow, some way, you have to believe in yourself and in all that is. That you have actually grown to the greater part of every desire that you have ever had. You don't need to move into opposition energy. You don't need to argue with us and tell you that we're wrong, that you do not agree. You should know by how you feel when you do this, whether it is the right thing to do or not, you see. There is nothing that you're running up against in your life that is not a revelation or a revealing of you, of the content of you, you see. We like to tell the story about Dave. He is a funny one. He does have some opposition energy in him. And when he comes across something that he is in agreement to, we would tell you, and it is a belief of his, he likes to repeat the story over and over again. And we said to him, is it that the story is true? Or is it that you have decided to believe in it? And is it in front of you because you believe in it? And this is what we want you to recognize as a human. That there would never be anyone, including us, before you, to oppose you if opposition energy wasn't in you, if you weren't somehow in that state of being, you see. We said to Dave, rather than repeating a story of something that you don't like, that someone is telling you that you are believing is true, why don't you think of what is the opposite of that and put your focus on that? He likes to tell the story how people can be robbed in stores and there are no police called because it isn't over a certain dollar amount. He thinks it's terrible as the clerk tells him about it. People load into the store at closing time and take everything they want, up to $1,000, and no police will come. They know it, you see. And as Dave gets himself worked up because he holds this belief that humans should be upstanding, humans should be trustworthy, whatever it is that he believes that they're not, he finds himself in front of this clerk that tells him the story. And then he goes home and he tells the story to Robin, and then he tells it to anyone else that will listen to it, and everybody is aghast by it, and the energy grows bigger and bigger and bigger, and we have more robbers in the world, you see, more Daves in the world to tell the story. And we said to Dave, what was born of that is you don't really like people taking things that they haven't paid for. So why don't you put your focus on people being upstanding and helpful and kind? And then notice the kind of people that come before you in stores and the kind of stories that they are telling you. They'll be quite different than the ones that you've been getting. You're only getting what you're getting because it's in you. Every interaction that you're having with a human or us is a revealing factor of you. It's coming from you. Your human counterparts are nothing more than the revealers of the energetic level that you are emitting to all that is. This is your key, your sign, your signal that the universe is receiving on how you are perceiving. You know what that means? So look at all of your experiences and know that that's your signal. You see. If you get bossy, if you're easily angered, if you're controlling, this is in you. And you're going to have circumstances and situations before you that are going to reveal it to you. And you're not going to like it as you receive it. But use it as a tool and decide, what could I really have that I would really like to align to in my life? By seeing this perception that I hold within myself, that I am viewing as this one is before me. You see. We mainly wanted to communicate to you that you can have the life you want. You can let the universe bring to you the way you want to feel based upon how you perceive. But it's going to do it in authenticity. And oftentimes when a human will say to us, well, why am I not getting what I want? Why do I not know what I want? And we would say, align in authenticity. Align in just being true to yourself in your authentic state. Don't try to be something that you think you should be, that you need to be, that you've dreamt that you should be, that you will be received better if you are this thing, that you will feel better if you are this way. Just be in your authentic state and let the universe deliver on that. That's where the true satisfaction is going to come from. Humans will say to us all the time, well, I'm really happy. I'm happy where I am. I'm not unhappy. I'm appreciating what I'm doing. But all the while, it's like they're barely being fed. It's like someone put half a serving on their plate, and now they're telling us it's enough. They're not satisfied. In order to get satisfied, you have to feel as though you have your plate full already. You have to feel you have enough to eat, and then some left over. We know that it's not easy being a human. We know that there are some difficulties that you will encounter and some confusions. Dave was confused, as we told him this morning, about his encounter with this woman at the counter. We're not saying it isn't true, but we are saying that if you're running up against it, it's true for you, you see. And the same goes for any of you that are in conflict anywhere. You don't feel good as you do it. You think you're right. You think you got to stay your side. You think you got to disagree. All the while, you don't feel good as you do it. Notice the energy and transmute it instead. you see. You have to clean it up. You have to pay attention. How am I feeling? Who am I encountering? What am I dreaming about? That's another topic. Humans can get revelations in dreams, but they can go many different ways. Sometimes you can get a dream as a sign or signal of a need that you have to feel a certain way, to be a certain way, that is in conflict with the high self. And other times you can get a dream that you actually are in a connected state. And it feels authentic. It feels like a reality, you see. Not something that's not believable to you, but something that you can really grasp and connect to. We're kind of all over the map here today, but basically what we're trying to do is to get you to understand that there is nothing in your view or purview that you are not emitting or transmitting in your perception that the universe isn't responding to or matching you up with. So don't get mad. Don't get frustrated. Don't go into opposition. Go inside. Good day.